buddy. Bud, you have to get out of there. Okay? Come on. Go. Go now. Go. Stay there. Hey, bud. Sure? Come on. You gotta go. You have to go. You have to go.
Just doing a little bit of deleafing and trimming the edge of the pergola. The vines are still in the vegetative state. It's not wood yet, still much like green, and so it trims off easily. Also exposes the clusters a little bit better for helping or facilitating to ripen the fruit a little bit better. Anyway, we'll see how lucky I get. According to my friends, I won't have any grapes to make any wine because I don't spray anything. So for now, there's quite a few grapes. It's a little powder and some leaves, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if some of this fruit survives and ripens to make a little bit of wine. Would be cool to make some wine with the varieties that are still here. Definitely remind me of my grandpa's wine. I'm not so concerned anyway. It's a bit of an experiment for me. I don't really have equipment to spray anything right now, but I also I'm curious to see what happens when you don't spray anything. I think we've had a pretty tough season so far when it comes to fungal diseases. Like I see tomato plants affected, potatoes, like I said before, a little bit of powdery mildew on some of the leaves on the vines. But I don't know. I guess unless you try, you don't know. And yeah, every season is going to be different. You may get away with a great crop one year, and then the next year you may have nothing. Your crop may be decimated if you don't spray your fungicides, which I think is basically prophylactic treatment, because really you may not need them, but in case you do, if you didn't apply them, then you have problems, right? But I would love to grow grapes using the biodynamic method, which is beyond organic. But I don't know if it's possible. I'll need to experiment in order to know whether it's possible or not. I certainly don't want to make wine with the varieties that are here. Some of them, anyway. There's one variety here, Americano, yeah, it is. It's essentially Concord. It's a North American native, and there's quite a bit in my village here. People even make wine with it, believe it or not. It's a long story. It came to Europe as rootstock to save the vineyards of Europe from something called phylloxera. That is an organism that grows and lives on the roots of grapevines and is native to North America. So North American varieties, which there aren't many, certainly not varieties that you make wine with, make juice, grape juice, like Concord. But at some point, phylloxera made it to Europe, And because the European varieties never evolved with phylloxera, essentially phylloxera was killing the European vines. So somebody realized that if you took a piece of a vine from North America, Concord, say, and grafted the European varieties on it, you could use the Concord as the rootstock, and then phylloxera could live in the root of the Concord, and the grafted variety on top would produce the European varieties, and it does. Somehow, people would let the Concord rootstock grow on its own without the graft, and it becomes a vine, becomes a grapevine, and it produces fruit. And there's a lot of it in this property here. My grandfather had quite a bit. It's an interesting wine. I actually don't mind it. The neighbor Julia, who owns the sheep that come to my field here, she's been making wine from here forever, and every once in a while she invites me for a glass of the wine, and I find it pleasant. Some people say that wine made with Concord grapes has got like a foxiness to it, like wet dog kind of, I don't know. And so, yeah, there's a lot of it here. So that's kind of gotta go. Anyway, I'm going to plant a vineyard, like a vertical vineyard in rows. I already calculated I can fit about 200 vines in 50-meter rows in this next field here. I'm investigating, kind of researching, studying varieties, and as well as the method of training, of like supporting them. There's like 1 wire, 2 wires, 3 wires. There's many different systems of supporting the vines. Like this is a pergola system. Here it's called latada. But the vertical system is better for ripening the fruit. It's been proven over and over. So I recently seen a vineyard that was very interesting, that I thought was for various reasons. But I definitely want a vineyard that I can have the animals grazing on it the whole time, not just sometimes. So I'm kind of almost there. I'm almost at the decision point. And so, yeah, so this year, whatever comes out of here, it's going to be great if something comes out. And I'll learn something, which is what's important to me right now. And we'll go from there. braço. Mas não se mexeu, vá lá. Vocês são os campeões. Esta foi no limite do trator.
É pena ele ter pouco peso à frente, sabe?
O guincho é longo para caralho, pá.
Opa, quanto mais comprido tiver, mais peso faz.
Quanto mais o guincho estiver à direita, mais ele levanta.
Sim, mas é que eu...
Quando o guincho sobe para cima, faz peso para a frente.
Ó, Nicete, eu se não tenho aqui o andame,
Claro.
olha, eu se não tenho aqui o andame, punha-te a pedra aqui e a subia lentamente. E o rego.
É igual.
É que se ele dá ali um sucalco, a própria pedra vira-me o trator.
O mal desse guincho é que ele não vira tudo.
Pois, o meu tem o jogo.
Exato.
Ele aí só pega o pano dele. Vou ter que comprar um e pouco. Já está o peru. Tinha o meu do caralho. Já está. Opa, um gajo tem que ser com calma. É porque um gajo aqui vê uma coisa e que lá vê outra, sabe?
Tu fazes bem é muito suavemente no
Tem que
trator.
ser.
Elas só matam
Hã?
elas só matam homens que é isso que tem lugar.
O problema é quando ela se desequilibra e vem no instante.
É.
É que é tipo meio segundo, não tens sequer tempo de dar um salto. Para afastar o galo.
Agora aqui,
Hã?
tem que se correr lá. Elas também querem fazer isto, vão fazer isto, mas elas vão subir isto.
Desse lado?
Aquele lado não está mal.
Mas esse lado está um bocadinho comigo. Não é?
Olha.
Fazer tudo. Sai da frente! Caralho. Been a while coming, but I've gotten word that the stone for the tank is almost ready. We're probably receiving it this coming week, and if we do, we're gonna put it together right away. In the meantime, we're gonna continue on the house walls. It still has to go up a little bit more. This side has to be at the same level as the other side. You see out in the distance that still has the ivy on. It's kind of dying off, but it's still there. So it's got to go up still a bit more. The guys are going to go up as far as they can with the winch from the tractor. We're going to probably work a little bit on the future patio retaining wall in front here. Mounted a post, a stone post there on top of the wall. Needs adjusting. I like it. Because I'm gonna have to put a little railing there. It's got a bit of a drop. Also can act as support for the future pergola that's gonna be over the courtyard. See the vine out in the courtyard? It needs a wire system to support it over the courtyard. Yeah, it's very exciting to have this guy ready soon and filled. It's gonna take close to 24,000 liters of water. Yeah, I'll be able to irrigate the whole property from this tank by gravity with no pumps. It's gonna be really cool. And if it's a really hot day, you can always go in for a dip. It's a meter deep, so yeah, it'll be fun.
Io mi tiravo in settimana e e nesse terras, corria aquilo tudo, fui andar de barco e tudo. Um dia eu vou para mim fui para uma Portugal, ia para a casa da minha mãe, filhos. As noras, a casa era pequeninha e ela não quer mudar porque tratava de Itália. E ela disse que pode.
Fazer de alguma maneira.
Así que E que é? Os filhos?
Claro, hoje mais novo deu-me folga.
Ah, mas claro, yo me... Es de la costera, claro.
Faça favor, tinha lá. Tinha a senhora.
Por eso.
Para provarem. Assim ele não vai.